We are the Millennials in Love, and this is
the Love of Responsibilities podcast.
I am Ixpress.
And I am ISpeakMotivate. We are so excited to be with you guys today. And today's podcast is related to the other podcast that we did in the past, which is called Empty Words today. Empty words in a relationship.
Yes, the definition of empty words is loud, confused, and empty talk, mere rhetoric.
Some synonyms are hokum, meaninglessness, nonsense, nonsensicality, and bunk. A message that seems to convey no meaning, bro. And this is the thing. A lot of times in relationships, you talk about communicate. Oh, but I did say this, but I did say that, or this and the other. You know what I'm saying? And you know how people are like, you don't love me. And then you're just like, what are you talking about? I love you all the time.
Yeah, and it's a thing where you have to get the understanding of why they're saying you don't love me. Even though you say it, it becomes basically rhetoric or empty words without action. Exactly.
And so that's the thing when it comes down to it, because it's like, for example, you said you are going to walk the dog. We're going to do this as a team, as a relationship, as a marriage. We're starting off with this dog before, some people do that as a transition to a baby. And you're like, you're going to walk the dog. I'm going to walk the dog. I'm going to walk the dog in the mornings. You're going to walk the dog in the evenings. So you're walking the dog in the morning, and then the other person's like, yeah, I'm going to walk the dog in the evenings. So y'all go adopt the dog, and then you're doing your thing in the mornings, and now you're feeling resentful because your dog isn't getting walked in the evening, and y'all made an agreement together. And I feel like that's frustrating because it's like, we made a decision together. You're not doing follow through. So it was empty words.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that sentiment and that example. Another example is like saying, oh, this weekend I'm going to take you out. We're going to have a good time. But when the weekend comes, nothing. There's no action behind those words that you told somebody. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But yet, hey, in the words that we used to say when we was younger, I flaked on them. You know what I mean? So that right there.
Yeah, being that fickle type of thing.
Exactly.
I think this is a thing. And people try to associate this with our generation and what's that? Is Gen Z?
Yeah, I think it's Gen
right?
Z.
So, well, people would label Gen Z with millennials, which is crazy.
Exactly.
They be merging us together, but it's totally different. But anyway,
totally different.
That's a
if you were born after 95, you are not a millennial.
Even on sun charts on Google, they be throwing 1996 in there sometimes.
They be trying to, but most of them say 95.
They be throwing it in there sometimes. But when it comes down to it, a lot of the stereotypes that they try to put on millennials and Gen Zers is that we talk a lot, but we're not about that life or what have you.
Which is so wrong, because us as millennials, we're the main ones that will go after what we say we want. Like, most millennials that I know, they have become well, versed, financially secure, because they went after what they said they wanted. So I personally don't think millennials are the ones that are stuck behind.
This is my thought on it with the whole millennials thing. I think that in every generation, you got those people that, aren't the cream of the crop
mm-hmm.
and your generation. And so whatever generation, 80s gonna get on 90s, 90s gonna get on the 2000s baby, 70s gonna get on the 80s babies, 60 whatever, so on. But in every generation, you have those that are thriving and creating a legacy for the future, and then you have those that slack
nothing.
And don't do anything. There. And but it seems like a lot of the times those people that act out in a malevolent way, those are the ones that are the poster child for that generation. So it's like they're the representative of our generation, the one that
gets the most attention.
That's getting the most attention and the most negative attention. That's your stereotype for your whole generation of millennials. Exactly. So that's something. But anyway, just going back.
Exactly.
With the empty words, right? On some stuff I do agree with and disagree. Because, going back to throwing hands. They'll be like, oh, back in the day, we threw hands. But now, because I remember hearing it when I was a teenager and stuff like that. Now they want to bring weapons into the mix.
Which is the softest thing in the world to me. Again,
empty words. Because it's like, oh, I'm going to beat you, da-da-da-da-da. You hear all of that. And then they come up with a knife or a gun, and it's like, oh, I was under the impression we were throwing hands, but you're bringing something else into the mix and making it a deadly situation. Now, I can be honest to say that as the years increase, but that's every generation, I believe. The younger generation probably more prevalent. There's more prevalence of seeing, especially in social media. You're going to see more people, and as a visual of more millennials or Gen Zers bring weapons to fight instead of like just throwing hands. But there are people that are trying to get people back to boxing it out, doing one-on-ones. I think, what is that one boxing show? I think it's like, it's a place, it's like an amateur boxing or kickboxing. People that truly have beefs in the streets, they come, it's like this YouTube thing. They have beef on the streets.
Talking about King Sid?
No.
Because he used to go around and he'll just have people boxing in the streets, just instead of doing any kind of stupid stuff.
No, I'm not talking about him. It's this organization, like, they truly have beef, like, mad at each other. And they fought it out. Then they had their respect. So it's taken away that danger of somebody not coming back. Or, you shooting a baby because... And that's another thing that gets me mad, too, is because not only do you bring a gun to the fight, you don't have aim, and then you're shooting somebody's innocent little 3-year-old that's playing on the slide. Like, that's the stuff that irritated me. But going back to empty words, this is how I'm going to say it. When have you remember when people was getting into a fight in middle school, high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was that person that was cussing, I'ma beat you, and they wanted that crowd to come around them, getting hyped up. You got the instigator in the back. Oh, you gonna let them say that to you? You gonna let them say that to you?
Mm-hmm.
Da-da-da-da-da. But then you hear the person cussing around, talking about, I'm gonna beat you. 9 times out of 10, they don't have what? 9 times out of 10, they don't have what? The people that talk the most.
Oh, they don't have them hands.
They don't have the hands. 9 times out of 10. And that goes into empty words. A lot of the times where people be loud and proud about their achievement or what they finna do, but they don't do nothing about it. And you can see that on even sports. See these cocky people, they end up losing a basketball game, losing a football game. What happened with the 49ers?
That's just like the when they see how cocky, Chiefs came back and beat them.
That picture on the side, they won it all. That was posted everything.
Right after they did it, they ended up losing the game. And then, like, we were watching, a couple weeks ago, YouTube versus TikTok. And the TikTokers was talking a whole lot of stuff instead for this one. And it was this one YouTuber who was talking all that stuff. And he was the only YouTuber that lost. The rest of them beat the TikTokers because the TikTokers were the ones talking the most stuff. But they all lost except for that one boy who did not talk stuff.
And that's the thing about being a betting person. I am not a betting woman. But if I did bet, I will always bet on a person that is quiet. That's not saying nothing. Like the person that's like, I'm going to do my best. Right, like, I'm going to just do my best. Like the people that come out like boxing, MMA, like, all I'm doing, I'm just going to do my best today. I just thank God, thank family for the opportunity, and my manager. Them the ones that end up killing the person. Then you got a one that's cussing them out.
I wouldn't say they was killing them, but they was beating their tails.
They was killing them. Anyway, so that's the ones that ends up, being the victor. And I think that goes into a relationship. You can have that person that's saying in a relationship, I'm doing this, I'm going to do that,
or I've done this and I've done that. But the actions behind everything that they said did not accumulate to what they were talking out their mouth.
Right. For example, a woman, you starting off in a relationship. I think this is so true when you start dating. Is a young lady comes up to you and she's like, oh, I'm going to treat you like a king. This and the other. I'm going to do this and the other. I'm going to make sure I cook for you. Your house always going to clean. I'm going to do your laundry. This and the other. I'm going to be here for you. You end up dating her. And then you end up getting into an exclusive relationship.
And it's nothing like you thought it was.
Nothing like she's cheating on you with your homeboys. She don't know how to cook. She barely know how to put ramen noodles in the mic. Like, it's just,
Yo, that's the easiest thing to do, put some ramen noodles in a microwave. Like, you're not actually putting them on the oven or anything.
Right, just put them in the mic. She just don't know how to do it. So, but she did all this promising, and that's a lot of times what happens in relationships, and that's why you got to peep game, and that's what we're talking about today, Empty Words, because when in the beginning of the relationship, take words with a grain of salt. Watch the actions, because watching the actions, that is what you need to go by and how you need to evaluate your relationship. If you have somebody keeping their word for you or what have you.
Yeah, like I agree a whole lot with that. But fellas, one thing I would say, I was always told when I was growing up, before I even married my wife, remember what you do to get her, because you're going to have to keep doing that to keep her. So I can't be giving you love before marriage, and then as soon as we get married, all that go out the door, because then all the words that I told you to get you to come to me have now become empty words.
But that's what they talk about, the representative. A lot of times in the beginning of a relationship, you had a representative and you had that mask up. That's why a lot of times people say, what is it, the honeymoon stage or whatever? Yeah,
the honeymoon stage
is
where y'all still trying to figure out each other.
That y'all in love. They can do no wrong in your eyes. You go to the movies together. You go to sleep on the phone together.